death and the ascension of King Charles III. However, King Charles III won't have to pay inheritance tax. He's inheriting a realm of wealth, but he doesn't have to pay inheritance tax on any of it. The rule was done in 1992 to protect the crown prince and the crown, the royalty, from having Queen Elizabeth II has been paying a couple of this. The rule, like I said, was introduced in 1993 by the UK government to safeguard the royal family. The Queen's mother passed away 20 years ago in 2002, exercising the first, which ranked in $27 million in revenue from the Queen last year. The Crown Estate is estimated the third. Meanwhile, Prince William, Charles' eldest son, asks, members of the royal family do not have to pay the 40% levy on property. However, the Queen started paying income tax, and Charles may decide to do same or not. While still talking about the UK, let's look at the unemployment rate at its lowest rate in 48 years. The UK's unemployment rate fell to 3.6% over this period. Well, this is according to the National Statistics, Office of the National Statistics. However, the squeeze on pay remains risk in prices into account. The value of regular pay fell by 2.8%. This is still according to the Office of the National Bureau of Statistics. Inflation, which latest inflation figure due to be out on the measures, suggests that job market may be set to turn. We're still in the UK, so let's look at the UK economy. It actually grew a little slower in July. According to the Office of the National Statistics, the service sector was the biggest contributor to growth, helped by the UK hosting the Women's Euro Championship and expansion. Gross domestic product fell in June due to the extra bank holiday for the Queen's Jubilee. GDP, which were working days. Analysts have said the bank holiday for Queen Elizabeth's state's funeral on the 19th of September, as well as the 10 days of national mourning, could impact the economic growth and push the UK into recession at the end of this year. A recession actually is defined as 2 consecutive quarters or 3-month period of shrinking outcome. Just so you know, for the second month. Annual inflation rate in the US is expected to ease for a second straight month to 8.1% in August of 2022 from 8.5% in July. This is according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, which will be the lowest reading in 6 months, prompted by a fall in petrol cost. Let's talk about economy. So with that knowledge, gasoline prices are likely to increase at 26% year on year, slowing sharply from a 44% rise in July. On the other hand, housing prices continued to increase. Compared to July, the consumer price index is seen falling 0.1%, which would be the first decline since May 20th on the month, and 6.1% on the year, higher than 5.9% in July. Let's listen to Christopher Condor. He says that the slow inflation rate
today trading in a range of 1 even up to 102, rallying 3.5% from last week's lows up to today's high, which set a new 3-week high before banking off, closing at about 101.20.
Within the context of the Fed, what's important is the Fed has laid down quite clear, hawkish at the end of the week. So the Fed is going to want not to hike by 75 basis points, as they seem to have signaled to the markets. Then they're going to have to change that signal by the end of the week. And of course, that will be the week But I do think the base signal at this point is for another 75 basis points. Within the context of the Fed, what's important is the Fed has laid.
Cryptocurrency experts say the changeover expected to take place between Tuesday and the programmers scattered across the globe is set to attempt one of the biggest software upgrades in crypto sector has ever seen this week to reduce its environmental unfriendly energy consumption. Developers underpins the multi-billion-dollar ecosystem of cryptocurrencies, digital tokens, that's the NFTs, games, and apps. Ethereum, the second most important blockchain after Bitcoin, burns through more power each year than New Zealand. Well, this is what they say. Experts say the changeover expected to take place between Tuesday and Thursday would slash energy consumption by more than 99%. Enthusiasts hope a greener Ethereum will spur wide processes. Talking about the cryptocurrency market, let's look at how it's faring as at this morning. On the cryptocurrency market, we can see that Bitcoin is actually selling at $22,439 as at this morning. You can see that it's at a 36 basis points rise today, and that's an increase of 0.132%. It's actually doing very well. Also, Ether is doing quite well at 17,000 or $1,724.80. That's an increase of 0.05% or thereabout. It's actually doing very well as at this morning. We also have other commodities, or better still, other cryptocurrencies doing quite well as well. We have Cardano, we have Solana, we have others doing quite well. And a couple of other digital currencies not doing very well. We have Binance depreciating at 0.1 basis point, selling right now at $293.1. We also have Avalanche and other ones not doing quite well. Right now in the morning market, the cryptocurrency market is neither here nor there, but we can see that weekly, all the cryptocurrency, in fact, the cryptocurrency market is doing very well on a weekly basis. Talking about cryptocurrencies, in fact, currencies as a whole, let's listen to the foreign exchange commentary by Todd Cowell regarding the euro's performance amid expected rate hikes.
Today trading in a range of 1 even up to 102, rallying 3.5% from last week's lows up to today's high, which set a new 3-week high before banking off, closing at about 101.20. Sort of a risk-on trade that we've seen in equities across the globe here. Seeing equity agencies move higher, seeing the US dollar move lower, helped prop up the euro to start the week. Likewise, after last week's ECB decision to raise 75 basis points, now looking forward to more rate hikes prior to year-end. That was previously not priced in very aggressively. Now starting to see that also helping to prop up the euro to start the week. And what does this mean for volatility? Well, to check out that CVOL index over at cbgroup.com, you notice that the trend in volatility for the euro has been lower. But now that we've seen things move higher, recall we were trading below parity for a bit. Now we're back above parity. Today we see it as high as 102. We start to see volatility nudge a little bit higher. Part of that being the shift in direction. Likewise, part of that may be a little nod of the tip of the hat to tomorrow's CPI data, which could alter Fed policy if it comes in off expectations. Lastly, let's talk about what's going on in speculative.
Well, still talking about currencies, we've looked at the digital currency. Let's look at the global currency. Looking at how the Euro USD market is faring as at this morning, we can actually see that the dollar is actually strong against the euros this morning. We can see the dollar gaining very well at 0.003 basis points. It's actually doing very well. The US dollar is also doing very well against the pound, doing very well against the Australian dollar. However, the yen is struggling against the US dollar this morning. Another currency that's struggling against the dollar is Canadian dollar, struggling this morning. However, the dollar is actually doing quite well, faring quite well in the market against the majors this morning. Still talking about currencies, we have to make it relatable. So let's look at how the Naira USD market is faring this morning. Talking about the Naira this morning, you can see that the Naira is also performing quite well against the US dollar. It's selling right now at 427 Naira against the US dollar. No increase this morning, no depreciation. So in the market, we say it's just is an increase, it's an appreciation because it's just 0 Naira, 0% increase. Also against the euro, the Naira is doing quite well. The Naira is selling at 441 Naira this morning. Against the pound, it's faring quite well. Other currencies that the Nairas are actually struggling with are the Japanese yen. You can see it struggling against the CYN. You can see it struggling against the Canadian dollar, ruble, and other currencies in the market. This is how the Nigerian market, in fact, the Naira market is faring as at this morning. It's a little bit on the negative, more on the negative than on the positive. But when we look at the major currency, the dollars, the euro, the pound, the Naira is actually faring very great. Well, at this point, let's go for a breather. When we return, we'll look at the foreign exchange market and other things. Just stay with us.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police.
It's not, my lord. This case is in court, my lord. I'm just reminding you, not checking.
My lord, sorry, my lord. I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Well, thanks for staying tuned. The FBN holding has actually gotten a regulatory approval to buy Access Bank's pension business. The National Pension Commission the PENCOM, has approved First Pension Custodian Limited acquisition of Access Pension Custodians Limited. FBN Holding PLC agreed with Access Bank PLC through its subsidiary, First Pension Custodians Limited, to buy out the latest pension subsidiary Asset Pension Fund Custodian in a deal involving 100% ownership transfer. According to PENCOM yesterday, Access Bank is divesting from pension business. The Commission also said that still talking about the financial industry, EcoBank Transnational Incorporated (ETI) has appointed Jeremy Awori to replace the outgoing Group Chief Executive Officer Ade Ayeyemi. According to EcoBank, Ayeyemi will retire at the age of 60 due to the financial institution's policy. He has served as GCEO in the last 7 years following his appointment in September 2015. While commenting on his appointment, Awori said it's a great honor to be appointed EcoBank Group's Chief Executive Officer. I'll quote him. He said, "I look forward to consolidating the transformation of EcoBank." And I would say, congratulations to him. In another development, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics has revealed that Russia in the second quarter of 2022 sold to the Nigerian market a massive 1.8 billion naira worth of goods despite its ongoing war with Ukraine. The report showed that the second quarter sales by Russia to the Nigerian market was a huge increase of 143% when compared with 8.98 billion naira in quarter 1, 2022. Well, this increase is against the prediction that Nigeria's imports from Russia might be at risk because of the ongoing conflict. The majority of Russian exports to Nigeria is fish, particularly herrings and blue whiting to Nigeria. In Q1 2022, Nigeria imported 6.27 billion naira herrings and 2.77 billion naira blue whiting from Russia, while in second quarter 2022, the country imported 13.31 billion naira blue whitings and 7.21 billion naira herrings and 1.25 billion naira malt. All of these imports from Russia, despite the fact that there is an ongoing conflict in Russia against Ukraine. In the meantime, talking about imports and exports, the federal government eyes $4 billion annual export from cashew. The federal government has said it was working to improve the country's earnings from cashew exports to about $4 billion annually. Nigeria currently generates about $450 million from the export of this commodity, which had been described as very low for the country. Speaking at a media briefing on the 16th annual conference of the African Cashew Alliance holding in Abuja, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Niyi Adebayo, said the country currently produces about 260,000 metric tons of cashew nuts annually, noting that plans were ongoing to raise the annual production capacity to over 500,000 metric tons. He added that out of the current production figure of 260,000 metric tons, 180,000 metric tons are traded as raw cashew nuts. Adebayo said, presently, Nigeria has 15 active processing plants with estimated capacity of 55,750 metric tons and 8 inactive plants with an estimated capacity of 8,500 metric tons. We do hope that Nigeria can leverage this particular commodity, especially in the agriculture markets. Talking about the agriculture market, let's see how it's looking this morning. We've already talked about cashew, so we'll be looking at other commodities in the agriculture market, starting with soybeans. Soybeans is actually not faring very well in the market this morning. It has gone to a depreciation of 5.75 basis points. It's selling at $1,544 right now in the market. Also, another commodity in the agriculture market is wheat. However, wheat is doing better than soybeans, although wheat is selling at $854.21 in the market right now. We have it increasing at 12 basis points. Another commodity that would be relatable to Nigerians is palm oil. Palm oil is faring quite well in the market, as well as milk and other commodities. Cocoa is also faring quite well. However, a couple of commodities are not faring well, like coffee. Coffee is not doing very well, and canola and other commodities, even rice, is not doing quite well in the agriculture market this morning. Away from agriculture, let's look at the energy market, as Nigeria is one of the big players in the energy market. I choose to call us the big players in the energy market. Yes, I do. As it stands right now, the crude oil, the US crude, is selling at $88 per barrel this morning. It has increased and appreciated at 0.78%. Another commodity that has appreciated this morning is Nigeria's crude benchmark, which is the Brent crude, selling right now at $94 per barrel. We see other commodities doing quite well in the market, and a couple more commodities not faring very well in the market. Well, at this point, we've run out of time and we've come to the end of Business 360 today. Do stay tuned, however. The news is up next at 12. Thank you for watching Business 360 today. I am Edidion Martin.